Hi, this is Corey from Plaza Fitness Performance, and this is our How to Stay Pain-Free Forever video. So let's get right into it. In order for you to be pain-free, we have got to complete a pre-pain assessment. The pre-pain assessment will help you identify your risk for pain. We'll go through 13 assessments that will give you an idea of how low or how high your risk is for developing pain. We'll rate that risk from low to pain is imminent based on the number of assessments that you pass or fail. Going from pain to performance and ultimately staying pain-free is the most important objective. Enabling you to identify what your risks are and how to modify your exercise routine is our mission with this assessment. The 13 assessments include a toe touch, squat, single leg stance, lunge, active straight leg raise, rotary stability, thoracic mobility, shoulder mobility, stiffness, posture, dynamic posture, sitting, and sedentary lifestyle. Each of these assessments will be discussed with Chris Scott, our local bodywork expert. He'll go through each one of those and pay attention to whether you're passing or you're failing the assessment. Your scorecard will look something like this. Each assessment should have a pass or a fail. This doesn't have to be incredibly technical. These are very simple assessments that you can do on your own or with the assistance of a friend or a family member. And at the end of the assessment, be sure to rate yourself, whether you have low risk for future pain, which would be indicative of passing at least 12 of the assessments, whether you have moderate risk for future pain, which would be indicative of failing 2 or 3, whether you have high risk, where you would be failing 4 to 5 of the assessments, or if pain is imminent, where there's a concern for 6 or more of the assessments. So here's Chris Scott. He's going to go through hands-on with each of the assessments so you can have a better idea of your risk for future pain.
Hey guys, this is Chris from Plaza Fitness Performance. Today we're going to talk about our pre-pain assessment. Now this is a big one because most of the time when I see people, they're already in pain, and getting people out of pain when they're already in pain is a lot harder. The brain usually has that pain kind of, stuck in your system. So I prefer people to kind of identify these pre-pain symptoms or problems or movement issues first, because then you can prevent the pain or greatly reduce your chances of getting injured. So what we're going to do today is we're going to go over some basic movements, and we're going to go ahead and demonstrate them right here in a second, what they are. And they're things that you can do at home to basically kind of see what's stiff, what's not, what's working well, what's not working well. This is going to give you a good baseline to start helping you prevent pain rather than treat it when it happens. Okay, so we're going to have now is we're going to have Corey come out to demonstrate for us what we're going to go through. So the first thing we're going to go through is a toe touch. All right, Corey, so you're going to take us through a toe touch here. Okay, so this is an example of a good toe touch. We don't want the knees bending. We want them to be able to, basically touch the ground, touch your toes. That would be a passing toe touch. Now, Corey, show us an example of a poor toe touch. So here he's coming about shin level. He's trying really hard through here to get down. You might feel some back stiffness. That's, again, these are like some pre-pain symptoms that you're just not moving as ideally as you could. You may have had back issues. If you don't have back issues, well, this is kind of showing you that there's a chance that you could have back issues. So the next thing we're going to go through is the squat. So the squat's a multi-joint movement. It's going to give us a lot of good information about our hips, back, neck, pretty much everything. So Corey, let's have you take us through that.
So feet and shoulder width?
Yep. So as you can see here, Corey's getting about 90 degrees. I mean, that's a great level to be at. It's pretty acceptable for everyone. Everything looks smooth. He's moving back into his hips, pretty much sitting. Now, Corey, let's see you give us a not so great squat. So here, this is one we actually see a lot, believe it or not. But I don't know, do you go to the bathroom like that? Because that's crazy. So there you're getting those knees excessively forward. Guys, you're going to get some serious knee pain if you don't have it already, if you're using that kind of squat pattern. 2, you're not going to use your glutes at all, so it's kind of defeating the purpose of the squat. So you want to check that as you're doing this self-assessment to see if your knees are coming forward versus, you want to show us a good one again, versus, you know, the knees are slightly moving, kind of tracking over the toes and the butt's going down and back. All right, so keep that in mind, kind of check where you're at. The next one we're going to do is a hurdle step, or we can call it a single leg stance. So Corey, you want to demonstrate that for us? So this is going to check our single leg balance. Very important, especially if you're a runner, if you're a human being who walks on 2 feet, this is really useful. Okay, we're going to look for, so his ankle right there, we're going to see if it starts shaking at all. So Corey, you want to show us an unstable ankle? So you can see that moving back and forth. If you're looking for that, or if you feel your arms coming out like that, it's a good sign that we might need to work on this. And you could potentially have some one-sided issues. So maybe one side on that's better than the other. Maybe they're both bad. You have lots of balance issues. So this is going to show you not only your foot control, but also balance. And as we age and get older, balance is kind of an important thing. So we want to make sure we can pass this test well. Yeah, we don't want any of that surfing on the USA here, okay? Next thing we're going to do is a lunge, okay? Lunge is another thing to kind of check single leg stability, core strength, and all that. So Corey, let's have you show us a good lunge here. Good. Now let's show us what a poor lunge might look like. Again, he's trying to surf here. It's not a good idea. And again, this is going to tell us a lot about our balance, about our single leg capabilities. And at any given point in time when you're walking, you're on 1 foot, 1 leg. So you need to really have that strength and balance. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to do what's called the active straight leg raise. Now this has similar assessment tool as like the toe touch, but it's a little different. We're going to see more of the core stabilization that's involved in this as well. So Corey, we're going to have you lay on your back. All right, so what's going to happen here is you're going to have your arms laying on your side just like Corey is. And what you're going to do is you're going to keep one leg down, you're going to have the toes pointed up, and you're going to lift one leg up as far as you can without the knee bending. Now, if you got healthy hamstring and core stability here, you should be able to get to about 90 degrees here. Now, Corey, let's have you show us what a restricted motion would look like. Great. So that, you're about 45 degrees there. That would be not passing. That means you have some movement limitations. You can come back on down there. And, you know, we could look at the core for that, a lot of different things. But that's going to give you some, again, good baseline information. If you're sitting all day, there's a good chance that you're going to have difficulty doing this test. Your core and your glutes are not going to be working as well. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to do some rotary stability. Okay. Again, this is going to check a lot of our core function, how well we can balance. So what we're going to do for this is we're going to do opposite arm, opposite leg out. Okay. So let's have you show us that, Corey. And what we should look for here is you see how everything stays nice and stable through the back. He's getting long. Now show us, Corey, an example of some poor stability with that. Okay, so I see this actually a ton. This seems like a simple movement, but a lot of people don't have, you know, this cross rotary stability. And this is one thing you want to check. And if you find you have problems with this, again, this is kind of another pre-pain assessment sign here, okay? And the last thing we're going to do today is we're going to do thoracic mobility. We're going to check that kind of up in the upper back is a thoracic region. If you sit all day, you're going to probably have a tighter thoracic region through here. So Corey, you want to demonstrate that for us? So what you're going to look for here is you're going to sit back on the hips like Corey is, get into there, you're going to kind of lock your lumbar spine, and you're going to get most of the motion through here. So let's have you do that again. What we're looking for is about 45 degrees of rotation. And the rotation you get to 45 degrees should be pretty effortless. If there's a lot of difficulty getting there, you probably have some kind of limitation that you'd want to look at. All right, and we would check both sides for this. The next one we're going to do is shoulder mobility. So let's have you face the camera, your back facing the camera here. Yep. And so we're going to try to get within a finger, kind of hand length here, difference of the person's hand, so your hand here. We'd want to be able to reach and have that distance there roughly for passing shoulder mobility. If you have something like this is like almost like 3 hand lengths, we might have a problem with the shoulder mobility. And again, if you sit at a desk all day, there's a chance that you have some limitation in your shoulder mobility here. All right, guys, so now we're going to talk about stiffness. Now, a lot of you out there are probably pretty stiff. You might have stiff hips, tight hamstrings. I hear that one a lot, especially in our sitting age where we sit all the time versus doing cool industrial things like we used to. So what we're going to look for, top things, we're going to look for hips, neck, back, ankles. If you have any stiffness there and you try to roll them out, stretch them out, and they're not getting better, guys, this is a sign that there's something more at play, and either you need to reach out to a professional to find out more, or you just need to take a different approach to your stiffness, because obviously stretching and rolling the same areas over and over again without any results is kind of the definition of insanity. So let's not be insane. Let's get you out of some stiffness and get you feeling better. The next thing we're going to talk about is posture. Now, we often think about posture kind of like maybe like this, we're all nice and erect and tight, but that's only one definition of posture, and that's somewhat limited because when we're moving, and we have what's called dynamic posture, where when we move, our posture is changing. We want, standing posture is great and all, but we want that dynamic posture also to look and perform well. So some of the things we're going to talk about relating to that is a big one that I keep talking about is sitting. So often when we're sitting, we might end up with our shoulders hunched forward. When we get into a hip flex position for long periods of time, let's say if you're going 2 hours or more at a time sitting, there's room for concern there. What will happen, will get shortened. As you try to lengthen out, it's going to get tight and not lengthen out properly. And what ends up happening is you get some pelvic tilting going here, kind of pulling things forward. Your glutes stop working as well. Your calves tighten up. Your feet might develop some pain. You might start developing some bunions. Yeah, all this from sitting. Some other things that can happen is you can start having digestion issues because as you get stuck here and you try to come back up, those organs are kind of stuck in the fascial tissue. They might not be properly positioned. You could end up with things like constipation. Other things you can also end up with are fatigue issues, as all those muscles are working harder. They're trying to do stuff that they normally shouldn't be doing. And these are all results of poor posture, and these are all pre-pain symptoms that you need to look out for.